Hi, this is Dr. Deborah Hecker, and I'm delighted to be with you. We're going to talk about attachment style today and how your attachment style impacts your relationship with your partner. In order to understand why our adult partnerships succeed or fail, we need to take a trip down memory lane. We need to step back in time, not to when you first met your spouse or partner, or even to your first romance, but to early childhood when identity and your sense of self were formed. And that was the time where we are taught about human connection from one single crucial relationship. And that relationship is the one we had with our primary caregiver, which can be either the mother or the father. I'd like to talk for a brief moment about how children develop healthy relationships. All children are going to go through a series of developmental stages, from about birth to 3 years of age. During this time, they must bond with their caregiver so that they can develop a basic sense of trust and safety. This secure bonding provides a solid foundation for the child to separate both physically and emotionally as individuals and to explore their world safely and securely. The goal, of course, is for the child to become an emotionally autonomous human being. Let me give you an example. We talk about a child becoming independent both physically and emotionally. Let's start off with a very early relationship between the mother and the child. We call this the symbiotic period. And of course, at this point, we see children being held by their mother. But gradually, as they develop in age, we see different movements occurring. We see a child who begins to crawl away from his or her mother. We see a child who begins to walk away from his or her mother into another room. So what's happening here is that with that secure home base of the primary caregiver, that child is developing both an emotional security, like I can dare to leave my mother, and a physical security, I don't need to see her all the time. When I'm working with my adult clients, I always bear in mind the knowledge of the early mother-child bond. These insights help me to understand both the strengths and the difficulties that they may be having in their current adult partnerships. What I have learned in my research and I share with my clients continuously are these parallels that they have from their early bond to their current relationships. So there are two things I'd like to underscore here. One, adults show patterns of attachment to their romantic partners that are similar to the attachments between children and their parents. And secondly, something very interesting is that couples evolve through similar stages of development that resemble those of early childhood. Consider, for example, the resemblance between the honeymoon stage of a relationship when everybody's madly in love and the initial bond between the mother and the infant when they are perfectly attuned to one another. Did it ever occur to you why some sophisticated and intelligent people cling to their partners for dear life, while others avoid commitments, need to distance themselves, or, on the other hand, some feel very secure in their partnerships? I've seen this very often with my female clients where in the business world they feel confident, put them into a personal relationship, and they are very insecure. So in order to answer these questions, let's take a brief look at the 3 different attachment styles that generally characterize all romantic partnerships. Knowing your attachment style is extremely helpful as it will help you understand yourself better and the way you relate to your partner. Let's talk about the codependent attachment style, sometimes known as the anxious attachment style. First characteristic, you find that others are reluctant to get as close to you as you would like. Secondly, you worry that your partner doesn't really love you as much as you love them. You want an intense attachment with your partner, one that does not allow for individual differences, and this desire sometimes scares him or her away. And finally, when your partner is away, you fear that he or she may become interested in someone else. The second style is called counterdependent, the opposite of codependent, or avoidant attachment style. First characteristic, you're somewhat uncomfortable being emotionally close to your partner. You may find it difficult to trust your partner and to allow yourself to really depend on them. Your partner wants you to be more emotionally intimate than you're comfortable being, and you really prefer not to share your innermost feelings with your partner. It's easier to be self-contained. And finally, does this ever occur to you that when your partner's gone, you can't wait for them to come back, and then when they're back, you feel the need to escape? Now I'd like to talk about the secure attachment style, something that we're all striving to attain. You're comfortable being close to your partner. You are comfortable depending on your partner and having him or her depend on you. It's a mutual dependency. You rarely worry about being abandoned by your partner or someone getting too close to you. You can negotiate your differences with your partner and find solutions that work for both of you, not just you. And you can easily express your needs and your wants to your partner. So what we have here are two well-defined individuals who come together and enhance each other. Let's talk about why you need to know your attachment style. You're probably wondering about that. More than likely, you had little difficulty in recognizing your own style or combination of styles, codependent, counterdependent, and healthy attachment style. Your attachment style tells you two things about yourself. The first is your comfort level with closeness and intimacy, or the degree to which you avoid intimacy. And secondly, it tells you about your anxiety about how secure you feel in your partner's love for you. The first step in understanding why you relate to your partner the way you do and to becoming the kind of partner you wish to be is to identify your attachment style and your intimacy needs. My model, Yours, Mine, and Ours, Partnership Done Right, it's based on the belief that with the proper information, the proper tools, and support, you can break free of your current relationship problems and replace them with healthy and sustainable ways of partnering. I know because I've successfully used these principles on myself, and I use them every day on my clients. For more information on how to quickly and easily identify your attachment style, please check out www.drdeborahhecker.com.